Welcome to Garage Groove. Welcome to the shop. Hello everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Garage Groove. We're going to be working on Faison's drift trike project. Well, it's not really a drift trike. It's going to be a get around town trike type of thing for him. Originally, I didn't want to do more than one episode on this, but the ideas have kind of evolved. And what we're going to do is we're going to build two of them. Because not only that, but we want to build Faison a trailer to this thing. It's going to turn out really cool. Remember, the mission of this project is kind of sneak Faison into the community with a gas-powered unit that's friendly and compliant, so he can cruise around these boardwalks and stuff. Not a boardwalk, but these walking paths that they've made around our community and fit in with all the electric stuff, you know, and his being gas. Gas isn't very friendly usually when it comes to being compliant, because it's usually loud. They're fairly fast, and so what we're gonna do is, originally we were just gonna build the project. We're gonna build the trike, do the project, and call it good. And I was gonna do that in an episode, but our ideas have evolved. So we want to build two, and because we got two motors. But more importantly, we want to build Faison a little trailer. You know, we cut up some bikes. We had bicycles. You'll see as the first episode progresses. You'll see what we had to do. But we had some old bikes laying around, and we cut them up so we can use the steel off of it. Well, consequently, there's bike parts left over. We didn't use all of them, you know. So out of those, we're going to build a cool little trailer for him to pull along popsicles. So he can go on the trail and he can give out popsicle or sell them cheap or whatever to kind of cutely, you know, mix in. And he can get the job done. And that's something he wants to do anyway. So we're not only building one trike, we're building two trikes and one trailer. So this is going to be our first episode on that. Enjoy it. Today we're going to be working on Faison's trike project. I won't call it a drift trike because it's not a drift trike. It's going to move right down the road pretty good. You can't have a hot rod, loud machine. That's what we like, but we can't do that. So this is kind of a different project in this drift trike. So we have to keep it somewhat tame. We can't have it go excessively fast, and it's got to be relatively quiet, and it's got to complement the public as best as it can. It certainly can't become a public nuisance. We are not a multi-million or multi-$100,000 channel where we order whatever we want and create whatever we want. We are a working family. We do this on the side, as you can see from our views and stuff. We don't do this for money and stuff. We don't get any money doing this. We always have to purchase stuff and do projects on a budget. We had to buy an $80 axle kit. Now, there's some quirks with these when you get these. So first of all, you can't use the wheels that we like to use. So we're gonna have to do some modifications there. I don't know how well it's built. This is the first time I'm getting it. Although the box is pretty heavy. You want to pick that box up, Faison? See, it seems like it's got some weight to it. Yeah, it's got some weight to it. So I think we should be good there. But these are 80 bucks, man, and it's a full kit, and we'll find out here in a minute everything that it comes with. To fit in with the public. The first time somebody complains about it, the thing's got to get sold. So okay, here we go. Faison's going to open his axle. kit. It comes with, there's our 428 sprocket. You see it's all splined. Here's our hubs for the wheels. There's our brake rotor. This is $80 and that's shipped. This is our brake caliper
Yeah,
and the master cylinder.
Let's take these things off. There you go. The axle right there.
Man, that's a stout axle,
It
dude.
looks pretty cool. This thing's heavy, man.
You see, okay.
That's not bad.
So now this is not slotted. See, when it's slotted, you can put your sprocket, brake hub, wherever you want to line it up with the motor. This is a very specific spot that is going to house your brake rotor and your sprocket. So what we have to do is we have to build the rear end to this first. Get your sprocket mounted, get the brake rotor mounted, and then we put the motor and line everything up that way. So that's
we're thinking about
the whole drift trike thing came together. It's the centerpiece of that whole thing. The whole idea are these handlebars. We wanted something to put these cool handlebars on.
Because our idea was like to lay back like this.
Yeah, well, we'll try to create that feeling the best as we can. That looks kind of long though, right?
What?
The way that is. Move the axle in a little bit.
That wouldn't be about right.
That's pretty long. Yeah.
You can keep it short because, I mean...
That should be all right there. Something like that.
And the engine would go right here.
Engine's going to go right in the center there, and you're going to be sitting on top. And...
I'm going to be sitting something like this. And
yeah.
then we'd have something come off for the pegs, right?
Yeah, we'll
But that's after.
That's after you're sitting on it, and we can figure out what's the best.
And the engine's mounted.
Yeah, all of that will be mounted, and we'll have to put a little gas tank or something. We'll figure it out. So that's step one, and we're gonna move on to the next step. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, we put it together, and that's what we got. And I think it's very well worth the $80. Look at that. You get a nice stout axle. You get the two hubs. You get the pillow blocks. You get the brake rotor. You get the sprocket. And yeah, pretty cool. Well worth it. The build style is going to be a little bit different, but it's all good. You saw what we did. we hacked up a couple bicycles. They were kind of over the hill anyways, but we wanted to use the DOM steel out of a bicycle. Here's what we did. We took the tubing, and the reason we did that is because I'm really trying to keep it like looking factory by using DOM instead of square tubing. And that's just something I want to try. And we had a couple bicycles anyways. And
taking up space in the back.
Yeah, not only that, but I can't just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something and just get DOM steel. You know, I can get square tubing and stuff, but this stuff is hard to get. But I think we may be able to work with this. We'll see. There's no guarantee, but it's definitely structurally strong enough. Now, we took some plate steel and we made this unit right here. Now the idea is we're going to weld this to there, and then we're going to run two pieces. Be careful, you can get metal slivers. I want to run two rails like this. Obviously, they're going to be straight, but kind of like that. And then, yes, we're going to run another, probably a heavier piece. Kind of like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is off of this, we're going to have this coming off probably about here. Maybe kind of like that. And then off of here, we're going to have another one coming off. And then to that, we're going to attach the axle.
Well, and the motor would go right here, and I'd be sitting on top of here, right?
Yeah, this whole area would be a general motor area. It could go anywhere in there. And that's kind of where we're going with this. And then once we get the basic outline, basic frame put together, then what we're going to do is we'll reinforce it and gusset it wherever we need to. The cool thing is, this may be a 2-in-1 project because I got an idea for the forks of the bikes I just took apart. If you took this fork, I mean, you take it out of the frame and you put 2 forks next to each other, you can use that to build a little trailer. You see where I'm going with this? But yeah, could you imagine a little matching trailer behind it? That's kind of where I'm going with this. So we'll be able to utilize the bikes, maybe. You know, we hacked them up. We'll do the best we can to utilize them, but that's where we're at right now, and we're going to continue working. We're going to start piecing some of this together. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Bah!
Okay, it's been about a week or so. We cut up some tubes and stuff about last week, I think. We're gonna build up all our pieces, as you can see we're doing. Here's our these are 8x7 rims, and we have 16-inch tires, which gives it a really nice. It's got a really nice stance to it. It's not going to be, and the gearing is going to work out pretty good. We got a slightly bigger sprocket in the back compared to the drift trikes, but then we compensate with a little bit bigger tires. We picked up a couple engines. These are for 40 bucks a piece. They both need a top end job. This right here is a 3-speed with reverse. This one's
This is a 125cc.
Yeah, this one's a 110. This
125
one's a 125.
Automatic.
Is that a shadow or is this thing leaking oil? But
No, I think, is that leaking oil? I don't think it is. I think that's from before.
so that's a 125cc full auto. We're not using that. We're probably gonna end up selling that one.
Both electric start.
Both electric start. That's important, you know. And then there's the seat. We're not probably gonna go with that seat. That's a little too big and bulky. We don't like that look.
A smaller seat. That's probably gonna go. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be this wide, but it's probably gonna go down to like right here.
Yeah, it has more of a look of a like a lawnmower seat. You know, we want it to be comfortable, but we don't want it to overtake the entire picture. You know.
Yeah, because this is the whole shifter cart seat. No, it's way too.
Yeah, it's a little too big, but we picked it up pretty cheap at a local sale, so we'll end up selling that one too. Yeah, that's about it. You know, we really like those handlebars. We want to, hopefully those will work as far as the comfort goes. And we're just picking up the pieces. Now, the other thing is we have 2 different looks, okay? The trike, it can exist in 2 different modes. It could be a motorcycle or it can be a go-kart. It could be a go-kart trike versus a motorcycle trike. And we did have it set up as a motorcycle trike, and it looked awesome as far as I was concerned. Faison wanted to go more with the go-kart look. So what we'll do is once we get the wheels and tires mounted, I will reconstruct the mock-up of the motorcycle trike, and you guys can put that in the comments, see which look you liked more. So, but that's what we got for you today. We're just building up the pieces, and then once we get the pieces, all of them, we will go ahead and start building it. Which, by the way, let me just quickly mention, we can't really we can't start building this until the wheels and tires are mounted. We have to have the complete assembly put together with the wheels and tires and everything so we can build the frame around it. Because remember, unlike the expensive axles, these are fixed spots. These are knurled and they're fixed. So we cannot move those around to make things align properly. We have to create the frame around this axle first and then decide the motor. The motor is what we're going to be able to move, not the sprocket. So because of that, we have to get the tires and everything on first before we build the frame so there's no clearance issues later. So that's what we're waiting for. We tried mounting the tires and it's impossible. You know, we can't do it. So
we got the tire on, but the bead is almost impossible.
Well, see, the thing is those are 8x7 rims, and those are 6.5-inch wide tires.
The tires are a little narrow.
Yeah, narrow, and you have to stretch them, and it's just very difficult. I never liked tires. You guys know that. I never liked doing tires. So we have an appointment with the local shop on Tuesday. We're going to drop them off. They're going to put them on for us, and then we have some adapters coming to match those. These are 110 mil hubs diagonal. These are 101.6 millimeter diagonal. So we have adapters coming to convert that hub to those. And once the tires are fixed, we can put our whole axle assembly together, and then we can start welding and putting everything together. So that is the latest update on Faison's trike. We'll see you soon. Take care. Okay, welcome back. So we're working on the drift trike. One of the biggest things with this trike for Faison is the rear axle and the wheels. Let's take a look at this thing. So we got the wheels mounted, and we had to get these adapters. It's a real mess, you know, because if you try to save money one way, you get beaten up another way. But it's still far better than getting the professional racing slotted swing arm. I think you're upwards around $800 by the time you get the hubs. You get your hubs, you get your pillow blocks, you get your sprocket, you get that, the brake rotor, you get your caliper, and granted, they're going to be better quality, but they're for racing. These guys, we're going to try to do about 25, 28 miles an hour for this thing. That's as much as we're going to do, so it doesn't make sense for us to do that. Now, I'm going to list above, you'll see all the price. Well, ultimately, we're going to have a price on this whole project, but just for the rear axle, you're paying extra simply because that is not a slotted axle, and it doesn't give you the convenience of moving things this and that, you know. The other thing are those hubs are kind of a problem, but you know, we were able to customize things the way we wanted. We really wanted these cool looking tires. They're a little bigger, you know, it's gonna sit them up a little bit, which is important because I don't want him too low to the ground. I want people to be able to see him, and sitting up helps. So that's where we're at, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get these tires mounted on the axle. We'll see you in this as fun. So anyways, my point is we had to save as much money as we could, and we went with the cheap route. We have under 200 bucks into this whole thing. Okay. We have 80 bucks into the axle. Came with the pillow blocks. Although we may change those pillow blocks. Those seem a little too chintzy. Came with the sprocket, the brake rotor there. Okay. And then it came with the hubs on the inside. Now, that was 80 bucks shipped. We paid 30 bucks for the tires on Facebook Marketplace. Those were brand new. We paid 20 bucks a piece on the rims. Came from Amazon. Okay, and they had a weird bolt pattern, so we had to pay another 40 bucks for the adapters on the inside. But we're set up for under 200 bucks. We got the whole axle going. For the steel, we're using DOM tubing from bicycles that we had cut up that we were not using. They had some problems with them, something or another wrong with them. So we cut the frames up and we're going to use that. Okay. The front end of the bike is Faison's old bike from something he used to ride. You know, we cut that up a long time ago. Now, this bike can exist, or this trike, I should say. It can exist as a trike in two different forms. Okay. This right here, what you're looking at, is a go-kart setup. This is a go-kart setup, okay, where you're going to have the motor somewhere in there, okay, and then there's going to be a seat, maybe of something of this sort, and that's one way. The other way is setting up a trike as a motorcycle setup, which I prefer, but Faison really doesn't want to do that. He wants the go-kart look. Now, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Let me see here. If we do this, yeah. What we're going to do is we'll come back. Okay, let me put the phone down and we'll set it up as a motorcycle setup. Okay, see you in a second. So, and there she sits as a motorcycle trike. I prefer that. Obviously, I'm a bike guy. So is Faison, but he wants to go the go-kart route. But I think that looks pretty tough. You know, that looks pretty tough. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I would prefer. You know, that'd be a bad little bike, man. Bad little trike. So that's where we're at. We got the axle set up, and now the next step is to clean up all the DOM tubing and start welding things together. We'll see in a little bit. A little different than what you're going to find on YouTube. The mainstay of these trikes, they use a certain type of a go-kart axle. They use those little 11-inch wheels, and it's a pretty common look. Ours is a little different. Let's take a look here. There's our axle. There's that. This is the frame that we're working on. Now, you remember the bicycles, you know, just a little bit back here in the video. We were cutting up bicycles that we weren't using. Well, this is how we decided. So what happened was we were looking at the seat height. Now we could have easily just ran it straight back and attached it to the axle, but he would have been sitting about almost 24, 26 inches up off the ground, you know, and that's not what he wanted. He wanted to kind of sit down low and stuff like that. So we had to readjust stuff. So what we did was, instead of these bars coming straight from the frame here and attaching straight to the axle, we dropped it down and we raised it so he's still sitting fairly low. We're estimating that he's going to be sitting probably around 16 to 18 inches up off the ground. Now that's an estimate. I'm not sure exactly, but we've kind of boxed it in. I know it looks pretty close there, but that's just how they have the pillow blocks here. You know, the pillow blocks are quite close to the sprocket and quite close to the brake rotor. So that's just how it is, you know. But we have clearance. It's not quite lined up perfectly, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah, see, we got clearance, and we got clearance right there. So that should be fine. So what we want to do now, we're going to attach the axle, and everything's pretty straight, pretty level. We want to go ahead and get that attached to it, and then at some point we're going to attach this to the front of the bike. And that's what we're going to do. But we're going to reinforce everything. We're going to gusset. We're going to gusset these corners. Give it more strength. This right here is going to have a full plate steel going over it. I got a bunch of this stuff years ago. This plate stuff. So we're going to have quite a section running right down the top of that. And check this out. This right here goes to commercial shelving. That's going to be our skid plate because it fits perfectly. Show them, Faison, the straightened outside. Look at that. I was looking at it.
It fits perfectly.
Doesn't that fit perfect? So once everything is done, we'll cut this baby off probably right around here or something. Once everything's hooked up. Throw a nice coat of paint on here to fit the scheme, and then we'll use Tapcons, or not Tapcons. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna screw it in so we can take. It's gonna be like a skid plate.
We can take it off.
We can take it on and take it off and stuff. The other thing is we had a gold chain and it fits perfect. It's a 428. I didn't think I had a 428, but I forgot we had a cutoff from Faison's RM.
This is from the RM, right?
That's from the RM, yeah. So we got.
It fits right on, and it should be enough length.
And we should have enough length. The motor's not going to be. It's not like.
It's not going to be that far.
Yeah, it's not going to be that far. So I think we're set up as far as. Yep. As far as the sprocket and the chain goes, we're set up with that.
And we got the front sprocket for the motor too.
Yeah, this motor didn't come with the front sprocket, but we have, you guys know, we work on this stuff, so we had one of these, so we put that on there. That's a 428, and yeah, that's about it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and attach this this frame right here to the axle, and we'll have a rolling rear end that at some point is going to get married to this front.
Reinforced.
We'll reinforce everything, make it real strong, so it can carry me, because we have to go by what I weigh, because I'm going to be driving this thing probably more than he will.
You're gonna be riding on the back.
Yeah. So
Trailer or something, you'll be heading on the
we have to make it fairly heavy. You know, I'm 190 pounds and bouncing up and down. Yeah, it's gotta be strong enough to carry me too. Cause come nighttime in July and August, man, I'm gonna be cruising.
You got some cool stuff to put on this.
Yeah, and we're gonna deck it out, man. We're gonna put a little dash on it. We're gonna put a little USB. He's gonna have some underglow. He's gonna all sorts of stupidity he's gonna put on it. But that's where we're heading with it. Boy, that'd be a long bike, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I got a license plate for it too.
That'd be a 4-seater at that length.
Oh yeah.
It'd handle like horrible.
At that point, you get 2 of these the same.
Well, you'd have some wide sweeping turns on that thing.
I mean, you would be stretched out. I mean, you'd be like.
Yeah.
It could be like a bed you're going to lay down.
Okay, we're going to get to work. We got to drill some holes and get the pillow blocks on and get this rear end hooked up. We'll see you. We have attached our pillow blocks in our little frame, and that is essentially the rear end of what's going to be Faison's trike.
We said to do more reinforcing.
Yeah, we're going to put plate steel and stuff on it, but you can see how nice that spins.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. The thing I like about this, the thing I like about this is we're kind of building it on our own terms. You know, we're not just taking a standard build plan off of YouTube and just following it step by step and just building something that somebody's already created. We're kind of creating it our own way because Faison's got his own little things that he wants. He wanted big fat tires in the back that look kind of jacked up and
it's not our only option too.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
no, we could have made those other ones work. It's just it would have been a pain, but we decided once we saw the tires and the rims and stuff, we liked it and we wanted to go with it. We could have easily returned it and said no, you know, we don't want to do this, but we went with it, especially once we saw how it looked in the back.
It's a good size.
Yeah, and we're building it our own way, you know.
And while we're building it, it's not like in the beginning, like, this is nothing to our plan. We had no idea. Yeah, that's the other cool thing. We're making it up as we go.
Yeah,
because this stuff right here, we just made this up like 2-3 days ago, right?
Yeah, we made our adjustments. Basically, what I'm doing is every step of the way, I'm asking him. You know, what do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want to sit? This, that, and everything else. So, and then you have your button up there, unless you wanted that red button. But we could do that, I guess. That looks like a recess button. That's what you want? It's a recess button.
Well, what do you mean recess?
Well, it's flush with the. It's flush with the board, with your dash. So you have to push.
I just like to look at that. It looks cool. Looks like a race car.
Okay.
You flip it on.
Okay, so we can do that. Then we're not going to use that. We're not going to waste that. We're kind of changing things as we go, but that's kind of the fun of this project because we're really customizing it.
There's like nothing like this on YouTube.
No, we haven't seen. There's a lot of drift trikes. Now keep in mind, this is not a drift trike. This is a
trike.
this is a trike, and it's going to cruise around, and it's going to cover some ground, you know?
No drifting.
No drifting, yeah. We're trying to fit in with the community here. That is probably the biggest part of this project, is create a machine, gas-powered, that's going to be accepted by the community. There's walking paths here. People walk their dogs and, you know, all sorts of stuff. And the kids have been accepted by the walking trail community with their scooters because they're electric, they're quiet, yada, yada, yada. We're trying to kind of sneak in there, you know, with a gas-powered thing. We'll see how we make out. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the things that we do to this is going to be geared around that. So, for example, our paint scheme that we're going to do, we're not going to go with the race theme. I mean, we're known to make everything look racy, you know. This is not going to be one of those. We're going to use like ice cream colors and very soft, very pleasant, very inviting. Yeah, well, see, the thing is we feel, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably agree, gasoline motors to us have their own sound, and they are living and breathing as far as we're concerned. You know, when they turn on, they're living. They're living motors that need oxygen. Electric motors are too robotic.
It's like this, what was it that, it was this one what is it, Cuda? The blue one that guy was getting on it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an old car, and what engine did he have in that? Like a 4?
Oh no, that was a 340.
Yeah, he had a small block in it.
Yeah, those 340s rock.
Yeah, and that thing's living and breathing. It's alive.
Yeah, man, living, breathing engines. These motors are gonna come to life. You know, I know they're 110, 125 cc's, but they're gasoline motors, and we believe in gasoline motors, and we don't think the electric it's not there yet. You know, it's got a long ways to go, and we're not on that bandwagon. What's that?
We like our motors.
We like our motors, buddy.
Building them and stuff.
Yeah, and the whole concept of hot rodding and cruising around it just goes hand in hand with gasoline motors. I don't know.
It's like that thing right there. Once we get that thing started, hopefully.
Oh man, yeah, they're all living, breathing. Look at this Yamaha, man.
When that LC4 wakes up, it's gonna be alive.
Oh my God, it's gonna be brutal. But anyways, we have 2 of these motors. The silver one's going in here, and it's gonna carry us around everywhere. I'm gonna sneak off at like 1 in the morning, and I'm gonna go turn on my little headlights, and I'm gonna go cruise all over the place. So that's.
I have to find a way to put me on the back or something.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that's what we have. That's how far we're gonna go. so what we did is we're working on reinforcing the chassis of this thing. Now, one of the things we're running into, this thing doesn't steer very well. It wants to drag the front tire. I don't know if that's because of the posi rear end, or we may have to, I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to address because it doesn't steer good. When you try to make a turn, it wants to keep pushing the front wheel forward. Let's take a look at this thing. We may end up changing the front wheel to a bigger wheel. This thing looks good though. It looks good. And what we did was we added this plate steel to it. And now it's, I don't want to roll away, but it's definitely strong. And it's going to get stronger because we're going to run a cross member there, and we're going to run a cross member like that. And that's coming from this guy. We're going to cut those tubes off and put those in there. Now, looks good though. We like it. It's going to have a nice chopper look to it. Trike type of thing. Okay, so you saw what we did on this first episode. Okay, now we did, and I wish I would have filmed it, but we did resolve that posi rear end, and it was quite the setup. I don't have a lathe, so what we did was we I had a serpentine belt from the Tahoe, a used one. We wrapped it around the axle, and I had a pulley, right? So I welded a socket, a 3/8 drive socket on the back of it, and then I hooked it up to a drill, and Faison spun the drill, and we had a serpentine belt around that drill or the pulley, and it wrapped around the axle, and it spun the axle at a steady pace while I sanded. I took an angle grinder to the splines on one end, just one end of the axle, and it was, we sanded it down, grinded it down just enough so that one wheel spins freely, and now it's a limited slip. So I wish I would have filmed it, but we had quite the setup. But that issue is resolved. You'll see that on the second episode. But that trike turned out nice. It looks really good. It's different. You know, we're proud of it because it's different. We utilize the wheels that we want. It's got a hot rod look to it. And the second one we're going to build, it's going to look, I think it's going to look even cooler because we're going to use a big 24 or 26 inch wheel in the front. And that's going to be for me and Sofiana and whoever else in the family wants to run it, because the second motor is full auto. It's going to be full automatic. So all you do is hit the gas and go. And Faison's is a 3-speed semi. So you saw the first episode. The second episode, we're gonna go ahead and probably get the second trike construction underway, and then hopefully it'll catch up with this one, and we'll finish them all together. We don't want to do more than, you know, hopefully we'll finish everything in 3 or 4 episodes. We really want to get this done by the end of his school year, so it'll be by the end of June. We'd like to get it done. So we're gonna kind of hustle on it and get everything done, everything painted, everything presentable, so we can shoot them off into the community with this thing, and hopefully they like it. So stay with us. We'll see you soon. Take care.